Okay, so this time it's a Joe Biden one. I know I said that the next one would be Beto O'Rourke, but I already made a Joe Biden one like around the same time as the Kamala Harris one. It's a little bit different. There's not as many errors. Uh, and I've already done one before, so it's probably not going to be as cringy again, probably. So, just like last time, it's not like supposed to be super realistic. Welcome to 2020 election night. Today we have Joe Biden, a former senator from Delaware and former vice president under the Obama administration, with his running mate Bernie Sanders, a senator from Vermont. On the Republican side, we have Donald Trump, the current president, and the current incumbent vice president, Mike Pence. First, let's look at some polling. Joe Biden right now has 54% according to polling, to Donald Trump's 45. If we look at the very beginning of polling, Joe Biden had around a 5% lead. It started increasing a little bit, and then it went back down to around a 3% lead. Then it started staying around the same levels, and then Donald Trump faced a huge scandal around 2019, and the polling dropped Donald Trump all the way down to the upper 30s, and Joe Biden was in the mid 60s. Then eventually Joe Biden started dropping down on polling until it got very, very close by Joe Biden leading by a 1% margin. Then he started shooting up back and polls, and it eventually led us to a 54 for Joe Biden to 45 for Donald Trump. If we look at the states where the candidates have visited the most in the past 4 weeks of the election, we look at the ones that are closer to the top of the screen, Joe Biden is leading in more, and the ones closer to the bottom of the screen, Donald Trump is leading in more. If you see Arizona and North Carolina are the midway point, which are closer to the bottom of the screen, meaning that Joe Biden is leading in the majority of the swing states. We have our first poll closings at 7 p.m. with 60 electoral votes right now. In Indiana, Donald Trump is the projected winner of its 11 electoral votes. In Kentucky, Donald Trump is the projected winner of its 8 electoral votes. South Carolina is too early to call. This does not mean that it is too close, it just means that the margins are not as they were expected to be. In Georgia, Donald Trump has a very small lead, a kind of large lead, a early large lead of 19%, with 19% reporting. In Virginia, Joe Biden is the projected winner of its 13 electoral votes. This is a very early call compared to 2016. In Vermont, Joe Biden wins. Currently, Joe Biden has 16 electoral votes to Trump's 19. We have poll closings at 7:30 p.m. with 38 electoral votes and one state call in the state of South Carolina. In West Virginia, Donald Trump is the projected winner of its 5 electoral votes, the most conservative state. In South Carolina, Donald Trump wins its 9 electoral votes. In Georgia, Joe Biden has increased but is not yet leading, 46% reporting. In North Carolina, Donald Trump is an early lead of around 8% with 23% reporting. In Ohio, Donald Trump is an early lead of around 4% with 15% reporting. Joe Biden has 16 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 33. We have poll closings at 8 p.m., the largest bunch of poll closings with 172 electoral votes, which will now be on the table. Donald Trump takes Alabama's 9 electoral votes. Mississippi goes to Donald Trump with its 6 electoral votes. Tennessee goes to Donald Trump with its 11 electoral votes. Oklahoma goes to Donald Trump. Georgia has been becoming a closer race throughout the entire night with a difference of around 1%. Joe Biden is still not leading, but is gained, with 53% reporting. In North Carolina, Joe Biden has gained, but not leading yet, with the difference of around 4%, with 31% reporting. In Ohio, Joe Biden has taken the lead, with a lead of around 1.5. He has now taken the lead for the first time tonight, with 44% reporting. In Missouri, Donald Trump has taken an early lead here with 53% of the vote, the difference of 7, with 21% reporting. In Maine, Donald Trump is currently leading by around a 6% margin with 11% reporting. This is only 1 out of 4 of Maine's electoral votes, which is a second congressional district. In Florida, Donald Trump is an early lead of around 0.1 or 0.16 with 7% reporting. In Illinois, Joe Biden is the projected winner. Along with D.C., Joe Biden is the projected winner. In Maryland, Joe Biden is the projected winner. Joe Biden wins Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes. This is his birth state and is a very, very good news for the Joe Biden campaign. This was a crucial swing state in 2016, which was one of the states that gave Donald Trump his victory. In Delaware, Joe Biden wins his 3 electoral votes. In New Jersey, Joe Biden wins its 14 electoral votes. Connecticut goes to Joe Biden with its 7 electoral votes. In Rhode Island, Joe Biden takes its 4 electoral votes. In Massachusetts, Joe Biden takes its 11 electoral votes. In New Hampshire, Joe Biden takes its 4 electoral votes. This was a very, very close race in 2016, but it seems like it has now fallen back into the Democratic column. In 2016, it went to Hillary Clinton still, but by a very small margin. Out of Maine, 3 out of 4 of Maine's electoral votes, Joe Biden takes 3 out of 4. This is the first congressional district and Maine at large. If you look back at our electoral map, Joe Biden is now in the lead with 115 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 66. We have poll closings at 8:30 p.m. and 1 state call in Missouri with 6 electoral votes. In Arkansas, Donald Trump is the projected winner. Along with Missouri, Donald Trump is the projected winner. In Georgia, Donald Trump's lead has increased by a little bit, with now a lead of around 1.5, with 65% reporting. In North Carolina, Joe Biden is narrowing the race up, but is not yet leading, with a difference of around 1.9, with 59% reporting. In Ohio, Joe Biden is now leading by a larger margin than last time, 2.7%, with a difference of 2.7, with 63% reporting. In Maine's 2nd congressional district, Joe Biden has picked up the lead with a difference of 2.3, 54% reporting. In Florida, Joe Biden hasn't really changed the margin, but just by 0.02%. But still, the race in Florida there's a difference of 0.16 with 35% reporting. In our electoral map, if we look at it, Joe Biden has 115 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 82. We have poll closings now at 9 p.m. with 156 electoral votes on the table. Donald Trump wins in Louisiana with its 8 electoral votes. Wyoming goes to Donald Trump by a margin of 70%, not a margin, with 70% of the votes. In Kansas, it goes to Donald Trump. There was some speculation about this possibly going to a Democrat, but that is false. In Nebraska's 4 out of 5 of its electoral votes, Donald Trump wins all 4 of it. Wins 4 out of 5. In South Dakota, Donald Trump wins his 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump also wins North Dakota with his 3 electoral votes. In Georgia, Joe Biden has picked up the lead by around 1% with 89% reporting. In North Carolina, Joe Biden has decreased Trump's lead with a difference of around 0.1 with 63% reporting. In Ohio, Joe Biden is leading by a larger margin of around 3% with 81% reporting. In Maine's 2nd congressional district, Joe Biden is now leading by 3% with 75% reporting. In Florida, Joe Biden is now leading by 0.34 with 56% reporting. In Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, Joe Biden is leading by 1.02% with 37% reporting. In Texas, Donald Trump is in an early lead of around 6.5% with 39% reporting. In Colorado, Joe Biden has an early lead, but not enough to classify it in his column yet, with a difference of 9.1, with 17% reporting. In Arizona, Joe Biden is currently trailing Donald Trump by around 2%, with 20% reporting. New Mexico, Joe Biden is the projected winner with 5 electoral votes. In Minnesota, Joe Biden with his 10 electoral votes. This was a very close race in 2016, but in 2020, it is not. Donald Trump fails to win Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes. This was the state that pushed him over the top in 2016, but it is now flipped to the Joe Biden column. In Michigan, Joe Biden is the projected winner, another big flip of the night with 16 electoral votes. In New York, Joe Biden wins with 29 electoral votes, a large prize for the Biden campaign. If we look at our electoral map, Joe Biden is in lead with 185 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 109. We now have poll closings with 21 electoral votes at 10 p.m. We also have 4 state calls in Ohio, Maine 2nd Congressional District, Colorado, and Texas. Donald Trump wins Utah's 6 electoral votes. Montana goes to Donald Trump by a very large margin. Donald Trump wins Texas, a huge win for the Trump campaign with 38 electoral votes going to his home. In Georgia, Donald Trump has narrowed the race to a very, very close 0.06% with 92% reporting. In North Carolina, Joe Biden now is the lead by around a 1% lead with 78% reporting. In Florida, there's a difference of around 2% with Joe Biden in the lead with 76% reporting. In Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District, there's a difference of around 1.3% with 56% reporting. In Iowa, it's too close to call, but Donald Trump is the lead by around 3% with 18% reporting. In Arizona, Donald Trump is now lost his lead, with Joe Biden leading by around 1% with 43% reporting. In Nevada, Joe Biden is the projected winner. This was a swing state in 2016, but in 2020, it's been more of a Democratic likely state, and it seems like it has actually been a safe state because Joe Biden has won it by a 12% margin. In Colorado, Joe Biden is the projected winner of its 9 electoral votes. In Ohio, Joe Biden wins its 18 electoral votes, a huge flip from 2016. These 18 electoral votes went to Donald Trump by around an 8% margin in 2016, but now Joe Biden flips the state. In Maine's 2nd Congressional District, we can project that Joe Biden will pick up its 1 electoral vote, another flip. If we look back at our electoral map, Biden has 219 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 156. That means that Biden is very close because California, Washington, and Oregon might be able to flip him over if he wins those states. We now have 3 state calls in Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina at 10 p.m. Florida goes to Joe Biden with its 29 electoral votes. In Georgia, Joe Biden wins its 16 electoral votes. And in North Carolina, Donald Trump does not win this time. It's another flip. All 3 of these states are flips. Sorry for the error. It is actually 15 electoral votes, not 16 for North Carolina. If we look now, Joe Biden now has surpassed the magic number of 270. And Joe Biden is the is the president-elect. He will now become the 46th president of the United States, defeating Donald Trump in his path to re-election. If we look back at the electoral map, Joe Biden has 279 electoral votes, 9 over the magic number, with Trump having 156 electoral votes, which his path has been cut off. At 11 p.m., we have poll closings with 82 electoral votes on the table and 3 state calls in Iowa, Nebraska, and Arizona. In Idaho, Donald Trump wins his 4 electoral votes. California goes to Joe Biden, the largest amount of electoral votes. 55 electoral votes, which is a huge amount. Oregon goes to Joe Biden with its 7 electoral votes. Joe Biden carries Hawaii with its 4 electoral votes, and Joe Biden takes Washington with its 12 electoral votes. In Oregon, this is a repeated slide. In Iowa, Joe Biden flips the state with its 6 electoral votes. Nebraska's 2nd congressional district goes to Joe Biden, another flip of the night. In Arizona, Joe Biden takes its 11 electoral votes, another flip. Biden now has 375 electoral votes with 160 for Trump. We now have the final state to call at 1 a.m. with 3 electoral votes in Alaska. Alaska goes to Donald Trump, the final call of the night with its 3 electoral votes. This is our final election map, which this is also the margin map. If we look at it, this shows that Joe Biden has flipped a bunch of states. Just the safe states alone, he already surpassed the 270 mark with just those states alone. If we look, Donald Trump was kind of contested in Montana, but we called it very early because the counties that came in were the more like Democratic counties, and Donald Trump was leading in them. And throughout Montana, it got closer throughout the night, but we still did not retract the call for Trump. But as it turns out, it was a little bit closer, and we should not have called it that early. This shows that Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States by winning, by some who say, a landslide. These are the chances throughout the night. Before the election, pollsters projected that Joe Biden had a 90% chance of winning the election to Donald Trump's 10. A little bit throughout the night, when Donald Trump was leading in states like Florida and Ohio, he went up to 15%, which was the highest chance that Donald Trump had throughout the night. When Joe Biden started leading in states like Florida and Ohio, he bounced he bounced to around a 95% chance. Then he went back down to around a 93% chance. And then eventually at 11, we could call it for Joe Biden. These are the 2020 results. Joe Biden won nationally by net of 12%. This is huge. Donald Trump has been ousted by Joe Biden by a huge margin. Obama didn't even win in the 2008 election by this margin. If we look at those swing states that we had earlier, as you see, North Carolina and Arizona were a 50-50 tie, but Georgia was lead Trump, but it seems that everything from Georgia up went to Joe Biden by a larger margin than expected. In Texas, Donald Trump actually did a little bit better than polls expected, but it was still a close race. Okay, thank you for watching. I feel like I made a lot less mistakes on here. I only counted 1. I made a few verbal mistakes, which I'm sorry for, but I feel like I'm improving a lot because I've already done one. So next one, I don't know what that will be, but I will practice it before, so I'll go over it, and hopefully it's much better. Please like if you enjoyed it. This one I put a lot of effort into, not like recently, I did these a month ago. But just anyways, thank you for watching. I'm not going to blabber on as long, but I'm just going to end it right now. Okay. Thank you.